And good evening. Well, today, like literally today, we just about 5 minutes ago, maybe less, just finished up on Hotel Dusk over here, stupid, room 215. All right. First off, your basic idea is this. You play as Kyle High, whom was asked to go to the excuse me, to this hotel to make a delivery for someone. Now you don't know who it is, you just know you gotta make a delivery. Fun, right? Oh, it gets better. See, the cast of characters you're going to meet in this place each have their own secrets. And trust me, there's enough secrets in this place to go around. There are few characters that I actually liked in this game, and trust me, there's enough of them. But the two characters in particular that I liked, one was named Iris, and one was named Rachel. Rachel is the assistant to a man named Ed, who works at Red Crown, which is a delivery service that you happen to work for now, because you no longer work for the NYPD after you turned in your badge because, well, you supposedly offed your buddy, Bradley. Or Brian Bradley, if you want to go there. The problem is, you believe he's not dead. And you think, potentially, that this Hotel Dusk, as it is referred to, can lead you one step closer to the man. Well, like I said, there's enough people in this place to have skeletons in their closet that are going to cause twists, turns, and everything else. Now, one thing that I've never ever really had the idea or mindset to appraise a game for is its art direction, because let's be fair, most of the games fall under the anime genre. And despite the fact that I love Japanese animation, one thing blew my mind here. All the characters in most anime style games were still images, and they really didn't show, dare we call it, proper emotion. In this game, the art direction looks like something out of the music video for Aha from the 1980s. It's done, this game is based in the 1970s. And by the way, that song was called Take On Me, if you remember that song back in the day. The game is 10 chapters long, and each chapter is based on a set time in the day. Each chapter, as far as the game's time, is about an hour long. Now, much like if you remember when I mentioned the game 999, in other words, this little beauty, I mentioned you didn't really have to worry about, you know, rushing around like a chicken with your head cut off, because the game's, for the most part, sets up when the clock actually advances, and it does. However, this game does have instances where game overs can happen. One actually has to do with a puzzle towards the end of the game. I won't tell you what it involves, but one actually has to do with that. And also, if you screw up in a conversation and you severely piss someone off, the game could go game over. And also just failing certain puzzles. Let's see, what was one? Yes, ripping a label off a wine bottle. And by ripping it, I mean just complete ripping it. You have two ways of controlling your character in the game, believe it or not. You can use the D-pad, but the game really relies on you using this little beauty, the stylus. Now for this game, that actually works quite well, except there are some times when where you have to touch is really tiny, which can make it a little bit harder to actually have to pick up certain things. But you shouldn't have to worry about that too much, right? As far as the number of hours it'll take you to complete this game, well, let's not worry about hours, because I don't think you're going to want to sit here and play 10 chapters in one day. If a person picks off, say, 1 or 2 chapters a day, say you do 1 chapter a day and there's 10, it'll take you about 2 weeks. If you do 2, it'll take you about 5 days. I think I actually did, to make sure I got the review done today, 3 chapters. There are different endings to the game depending on if you do everything right. One is what we'll call the true ending, and it has a very special scene that happens at the end, but you have to do everything absolutely right. And there's actually one of the puzzles in the game, for those of you who like to be completionists, that involve number stickers and involve you doing math. I'm going to tell you this now. What happens is there are stickers, there's 7 of them throughout the game. Some have a plus sign, which means you would add, and some have a negative sign or a minus sign next to them. Your objective, and I'll go ahead and tell you this now, is to find, if you find all 7 of those, to do the math and then punch in the number, punch in the actual figure, the total, into a vending machine to get a prize. I'll tell you what it is, but it's something that can absolutely help out with you completing the game proper. Now then, just based on the art direction alone, this game got pretty much a 10 because it blew me away that the characters actually look like, oh, I don't know, people. And they actually look like they were going to show some genuine emotion. And they do. A lot of it during the conversations, for the most part, recycled, but nevertheless, it actually is some pretty good stuff there. The game isn't really action-oriented, for the most part. It's just your typical graphic novel. Oh, and in case anybody's wondering, I'm actually going to give you the solution to 2 puzzles right now, for free. Ready? During the course of the game, this is literally what you have to do for 2 puzzles. Get it? In other words, there's 2 puzzles where you literally take your DS, this screen, and go, I won't tell you what puzzles that solution entails, but I will tell you that those are part of the 2 of the puzzles in the game. Somebody says to me, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you go with this game. How about we just go and say it's a straight 10? Okay, it's not meant for everybody if you like straight action all the time. But, honestly, games like this, the 999 and Hotel Dusk, are, in my opinion, games that the DS should be utilized for. Especially Hotel Dusk. Now, my understanding, there's another game like this called Trace Memory. I'm definitely going to be looking for that one in the near future. Probably through Amazon at some point down the line. Yeah, Amazon. Anyway, it's a bad, but yeah, definitely it's a 10. Go pick it up if you can find it. I got my copy, believe it or not, for about $15 from GameStop new. So, anyway, there's the thoughts on Hotel Dusk, Room 215. You all have a good night. I shall talk to you later.